Category 5, dad.
The worst dad fart you ever smelled. Like we've all heard, smelled that dad fart.
And the guy's like, "How about we pull down our pants and put them more?" And I was like, "Oh," and I hung up. But that's not what he said. He just went full on straight psycho 900 number. It was, how's the weather? It's so nice outside. Yeah, hey, how about you pull out your dick and we can talk about
pedo
it more.
speed dial.
This is the Welcome Distraction Podcast with the Kemp brothers. Their immature stories, advice, and opinions are their own and should be taken with the same level of seriousness as a drunk uncle's late-night conspiracy theory. Now buckle up, buttercups. It's about to get weird.
Here we are, back for another episode of the Welcome Distraction Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brett Kemp. I've got clone Christopher Kemp here, and our younger, better-looking brother, Nick Kemp.
What's up?
Glad to have you guys back. Episode 2. Got a couple more topics teed up for us today. All right, so the first topic, we're going to start out with a kind of an interesting story of when we were in our teenage years, and Christopher, I think you remember the most about this, so I'm going to let you take it away for us.
All right. So I believe this was back when we lived in West Palm Beach. Maybe young, teenage years. I think we're probably pretty young. I'd say, 12? Yeah, we're pretty young.
I barely remember this.
Nicholas being nearly 3 years younger than us. 10? 9?
Yeah.
So we had the luxury, the benefit of being able to ride our bikes wherever the hell we wanted to. So that's what we did. We would ride our bikes. One of these places was Target for
your fancy folks.
And it would be about 4 miles, maybe 5 miles away. The truth, I don't even know how the hell we got there, the direction-wise right now. But I do remember what it looked like, and I do remember this story where we would go to Target with no real plan, no agenda. We're shopping. We're looking at whatever the hell we could.
I go buy some games, candy.
Yeah, electronics.
The bucks was burning a hole in our pocket.
Well, because remember, this was, the mid-'90s, maybe even early 90s.
Yeah.
So to look at anything, you had to go to a store. It's not like it is now where you can look at anything online.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just out there shopping and walking around. And somehow, I don't know who noticed, but we felt like somebody was kind of following us.
Like up and down the aisles?
Yeah, up and down the aisles. And then I think it was kind of a little bit of a game. We're like, well, let's go down this aisle. And man, this guy is following us. And it was a guy. It was like a white male. Could have been mid-20s at the most. Didn't seem like he was too much older than us, or, didn't seem like he should be following us for any reason. We went all over the store. Felt like he was following us, but we weren't really sure until we walked out of the store. And then he would come up to us and demand to see what we had on a receipt. Didn't really tell us who he was, where he was, or anything. And we were like, is this real? No, it felt fake.
Didn't look like he worked there. Didn't have the Target red shirt on?
No.
Yeah, no,
I
absolutely
remember
not.
even at like 10 years old feeling like something's not right about this.
Yeah. I didn't know, but yeah, I think we were getting taken advantage of. Weird. So we left, then we'd come back, and I think we tell the story about, I think we were being followed. I don't know if anybody believed this. Went back, and we went back to Target. We're looking around, probably doing the same thing, looking at electronics, wandering around. We're not taking anything. But then the same guy shows up, and he's following us all over the place. This time he's being more aggressive. He's getting really close to us, and he's acting like he's going to grab one of us. And then we're like, this guy is really making us uncomfortable. And then we left, went to leave again. This time he grabbed our bag and took it and said, he wanted to see our receipt, and demanded and swore we were stealing something, and he was going to call the police, and was threatening us. And, we're little kids for the most part. And we felt like this guy is just absolutely harassing us, and we didn't know what to do at all. I think this is where
we were little kids. We weren't 12-year-olds who looked like they were 18-year-olds. We were 12-year-olds that looked like we were 10-year-olds.
Maybe 8. I mean, yeah, we were tiny. So then I think this is when we reached out to our dad, and we're like, I'm pretty sure this guy is following us. He's giving us a hard time. And so we made a plan to go back to Target. And we went back to Target, went through our same routine, and lo and behold, this guy pops out again. He's following us. Now we have our dad in the store, and he is following the follower. And so we walk all over Target. I think we buy something little and everything. And then we're leaving the store again, and he comes up to us to look at our bags and harass us. Instead, our dad comes up to him and is like, "What the hell are you doing to my kids?" And then all of a sudden flipped a switch. And he's like, "Oh, no, I'm just there in here messing around," and calling us like we're being dumb
Dad's a
things.
former cop, so he's taking this personally.
He really treated us like we were garbage. Put him in his place, and I don't think we ever went back there. It was kind of weird. We were being stalked at Target. We were targeted.
I don't blame us for some weirdo following you up and down the aisles when you're just trying to be a kid and do kid things. But he's probably being a dumb whatever age he was.
Yeah,
Nobody's actually stealing the stuff, so he decides he wants to just start some shit with some kids.
Yeah, I think he was entering a life of following people for other reasons.
He's at Leavenworth right now, doing some time.
But this was the beginning of our department store antics and other retail places. I think Nicholas, you have a good story about how something happened at a Home Depot.
So I was heading home one day.
How old are you? This is years and years later.
This is years later. This was probably only 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm in my 40s now.
He's really
and I'm on my way home, and I get a call from Dad. So Dad's story again, and he says, "Hey, are you home?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm about to be. Why? What's going on?" And he's like, "Can you meet me up at Home Depot?"
The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
And I was like, I mean, I guess
Buying
so.
another table
So-
saw.
He's got a project brewing.
Yeah, so Dad, on his daily visit to Home Depot to buy crap that he doesn't need, to make stuff he doesn't need to make. But it keeps him busy, so I get it. And so I'm like, okay. But then he says, "Can you bring a pair of shorts with you?" And I'm like,
Plot twist.
"What? Well, everything okay?" And he's like,
Plop
I
twist.
had this urge to go, and I didn't make it."
Mr. Hanky?
I'm like, everything okay? He's like, "No, I shit all over the toilet." I need you to get up here. It's really bad.
Shit everywhere.
And I'm just imagining, like shit all over the toilet, shit all over the stall.
Way back in the back of the store, middle, almost by the employee section, right?
Yep. So this Home Depot, you got to navigate all the way to the back. So I'm like, all right. I'm just running this through my mind. What pair of shorts do I have that I'm okay with not
Never
getting
getting
back? and I have no idea what I'm about to be faced with. And so I go with these pair of shorts, and I also don't know, like, he needs to clean up. So I go with a towel as well. And so I go in there, and I feel weird because I'm walking into Home Depot with a towel and a pair of shorts.
Do you ever return, sir? No. Just clean up something somebody dropped off.
Yeah, you don't want this back.
I think I put it in a bag so it wouldn't look weird. And when I walked in, I got a glance like from the return counter, and I was like, "No, keep on going here."
Can I help you, sir?
I make my way back through the carpets and through the appliances, and
I'm picturing Dad running through this maze of a Home Depot like shit break from American Pie.
And poor Dad, our dad's a little bit older when he had us, so I'm in my 40s now, so he's in his late 70s, almost 80, and so
hey, shit happens.
I'm like, man, what am I gonna get when I get back here? And so I open the door, and man, it all just hit me like a ton of bricks.
The shit hit you?
You know what I mean? Like the
Category 5, dad
the worst dad fart you ever smelled. Like we've all heard, smelled that dad fart. We let loose on a couple ourselves, and
nope. I don't fart.
It was like that times like 1,000. It was, oh my God, it was the most horrible thing. And so I had to push through. I had to get in there, and luckily he was in the first stall. Thank God there was nobody else in there. I mean, there might have been. They
They
may have
evacuated.
died.
Just give me 5 minutes.
I said, get the fuck out of there.
They may
Yeah,
have died
mandatory.
in there. And I was like, "You okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, just give me the shorts." And I was like, "Well, I brought you a towel." And he's like, "Okay." And
Just an
so
echo
I
from the
went out.
distance. Yeah, I'm okay.
So I went. I didn't want to wait in there. I want to get the hell out of there.
Home
so I
Depot,
could
more
breathe again.
doing in the stall.
More
And
pooping.
he comes back out, or he comes out about 5 minutes later, wearing my shorts, and he, thank God he threw away the towel. He didn't bring that with him. I don't know what he did with
Smart
it. I
man.
don't want to know. And he was like, "Oh, thank God, you came." He's like, "I'll get these shorts washed and get them back to you." I was like, "No, please, just burn them. I don't want them. Let's forget this ever happened."
Forget about it.
Fucking forget about it.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to Lowe's from now on.
Speaking of disturbing things that have happened to us, this one's a complete. It's kind of different altogether.
Yeah, I want to know about this one. I know nothing about this one.
Yeah, so I purposely didn't tell you guys about it. I thought maybe I had mentioned it over the years, but it's a short story. It's not that in depth, but it's one of those moments. I think when it first happened, probably I was late teens, maybe. I think I might have been in the Air Force, and I was down south in West Palm Beach visiting friends, and I think I was just there on a little bit of a break, but I was crashing at some friend's house, and they all had other places they needed to be. So I was just kind of enjoying my time. And I never told you guys about it because back then it was kind of like, well, that was disturbing and embarrassing.
I wasn't there. Usually, whenever you went south, I was there.
No, it was just me. It was definitely just me during this time frame. Maybe you
Let
were
the
down
man
there, but
talk.
you weren't at the house, particularly with me. So it was one morning. I was just laying there, probably sleeping in like 8 or 9 in the morning or something.
So what year
And
was this?
This is late 90s.
Okay.
So
So
everything's
people still
landlines back
had
then.
landlines. Yeah.
Everything's
Can you say
landlines.
where you were, or will that
No
ruin the
cell
story?
It was at friend's house down south there. But anyway, it was a family house. But I was the only one in the house this particular morning. Everybody else, it was probably the middle of the week. The phone rang. So it was a landline, of course. So it would just ring and ring. If you didn't have an answer machine, it would just ring and ring and ring. So I had given out my number to a few people where I was staying too. So there was an off chance that they could be calling for me. Hell, it could have been one of you guys. But so I think the phone rang, and it probably rang 6 or 7 times. And I was like, well, it's ringing more than normal people would just let it ring. So let me answer it. And I answered it. So when I answered it, there was this very calm voice on the other end that said, "Hey, I'm looking for so and so." And I was like, "Yeah, no, they're not here. That you have the wrong number." But instead of hanging up, the person just they had to have done this before. They were very calculated and very good at keeping me talking. "Hey, so how's the weather today?" "Oh, yeah, great weather and stuff." And I'm not a talkative person. "Yeah, no. So what are you thinking about this?" "Oh, yeah." And they asked a little other small talk question. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm at somebody else's house. They might know them. I don't know for certain, but it feels more and more like a wrong number. But this person is just talking and they're going on and on. And
Calling from a jail.
it was a very casual conversation. And then the next thing I know, the guy's like, "How about we pull down our pants and and pull out our privates and talk about this a little bit more?" And I was like, "Well," and I hung up.
Hello.
Arthur, what is this, some kind of sick little joke?
That's not what he said. He just went full on straight psycho 900 number. It was, "How's the weather? It's so nice outside." "Yeah, hey, how about you pull out your dick and we can just talk
The
about this a
pedo
little more?"
speed dialer.
And I was like, I just freaked out and I slammed down.
What'd you do after you pulled
Pedo.
your pants up?
Yeah, so
Did you come or what?
So you ran out of there with your pants.
About.
Your pants were down. You were running around the house in
yeah,
shock.
it was very awkward. Somebody came in. So anyway, but I just hung up the phone real quick because I freaked out. I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't believe that just happened because this is not internet age. That was in its infancy still. It wasn't commonplace.
Yeah.
Cell
How
phones
long
and
before
just
you called
random
him
stuff.
back?
Yeah. So I was like, "Hey, don't leave me
Star
hanging.
69.
Hey, what are you doing?
Caller
Hey,
ID.
Star 69. What's going on here, man?" But I was so embarrassed just because of the position this weirdo had called and put me in. Just
I bet
wait,
he wasn't.
not that position. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it
really
just
weird
made
when he
me.
came over.
It just freaked me out.
Yeah, come
But
outside or
I
what?
didn't know. I didn't know if he did know where the house was and stuff. And I was like, I need to get the hell out of here. I'm gonna go do
Calling from
McDonald's.
the back.
Did you ever tell the person that you were at their house? Did you ever tell them about the phone call?
No, I don't think I told anybody. Actually, it felt like it was something.
Right now, somebody might be listening going,
This is the first time.
got him. Got him.
Ask about the weather and then want you to pull like dick. So I pulled out my dick and then hung up. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. No, I was way too freaked out, so it just caught me so off guard, and but it was just so just mind blowing that some weirdo would just call up a random. I mean, who was he hoping to get? You know, anybody, just see how it went. There was no transition too. It was just straight to small talk to. Let's just talk about this.
Had to be a
Blah, blah, blah,
jailhouse.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
one
it's
call. I'm going to
probably
make it worth it.
Weird. Who talks about the weather with their dick out?
Yeah, that's why he's.
Hey,
saying
so
how
was
hot
it sunny or what?
Yeah.
Was it rainy out?
Yeah. So anyway, that was my disturbing phone call story, if you will.
So speaking of surviving, that brings us to another topic. Probably our last topic was old Lake Worth Beach. From what I remember, it was a dirty beach. Nothing like where we're at, where we got white sands, Emerald Coast. But I do remember we would ask to go to the beach because that's what kids wanted to do. You didn't go to the beach all the time, so it was still an adventure. So when you got to go, so we would go to Lake Worth Beach, which was, I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember there's a pier, there's a lot of dirty sand, and we were always there by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which was the odd part.
I don't ever remember going to the beach with our parents. I
Yeah.
don't have
No.
any of those memories.
I do remember Lake
Yeah.
Worth Beach and the adventures, which would be turn out later. We're lucky we survived.
Well, that was the time where you just get dropped off all over the place at any given moment, and you're like, all right, we'll see you later.
Yeah, we'll be back in
Good luck, bitches.
4 or 5 hours. And yeah, of course, there's no phones back then. There wasn't even pagers back then.
Mm-mm.
But we'd be dropped off at Lake Worth Beach, and we'd have no phones, no money, no nothing.
Yeah.
Can you
How did
imagine
you
that
even
now?
coordinate? Like when and where we were going to get picked up?
Yeah, we
Shit.
had, yeah,
I don't even know
be
what-
in this vicinity and look for this colored vehicle
And
in
when the
16 hours.
yeah, and when
We'll
the
see you
sun
then.
is positioned this part of the sky, I need you to stand right here.
I remember going there, getting dropped off by mom, and Atlantic Beach was usually pretty gross. It just seemed like it was. It's not as pretty as the Gulf Coast. And so down there, South Florida area, we love going to the beach though because the waves are usually pretty good. We rent boogie boards or just go body surfing because we didn't have a whole lot of money. So that's what poor people did.
I think
We
we'd
just
rent
use
it by the hour. Or something.
yeah, like $3
Like
to get it
$5
for
an
an hour.
hour.
Take
Yeah.
turns, fight over it, and then give it back. Yeah, so. But I remember getting dropped off, and one time, I'm pretty sure a tropical storm or a hurricane was brewing and coming by.
Looking back at it now,
And it was like 15-foot waves that were crushing
At
us, and
least.
we were just having a blast, getting
Yeah.
knocked around,
yeah, we were
We'd
loving
be
it.
looking for each
Riptide?
other.
What's a-
You okay?
what's a
Let's stand
riptide?
up, stand up. Another one's about to hit you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look out!
Yeah.
Look out!
And we'd get crushed, and we'd just go
Yeah.
tumbling in the wave and be like, "Yeah,
Didn't know
I'm
which way
gonna-"
was up,
Yeah,
but
it was
Yeah.
over and over. We'd spend
And
hours
over.
doing that. Thinking about that now, like
mhm.
no phone, no watch, no nothing, no just
Gotta
hey,
get in life.
Remember you remember the alligator raft? The alligator raft and the killer whale
Yeah.
raft
in,
that we
in the
had?
pool.
I remember
Yeah.
taking the alligator raft one time. Yeah, with the handles. I remember taking one of those one time, and we were so far out there.
Yeah, just kept going.
Was there even lifeguards
I think
there?
we were like beyond like the distance of the dock. Like I don't know how we didn't get eaten by sharks.
Because I think the lifeguards would you start hearing whistles saying, "Come back, come back." I mean, you were just lucky there was no riptides or currents because you would have gone out for miles after that. Yeah, that was crazy times. Just running around doing that and dodging the barracudas and pelicans out there.
I mean, and the people. I mean, there's people. Yes, we didn't worry about it because we didn't know to worry about it. But man,
Yeah, we're
we were
just
lucky
kids.
to survive.
Yeah, we were lucky we didn't get picked off.
Yeah.
But you know
We got
what?
another one.
It was fun.
Well, if you're listening to this or watching this, we'd love to hear some feedback on some of the craziest shit you did as a kid, whether a young preteen or teenager, what you were running around doing, the stuff that you remember that your parents kind of just dropped you off. I mean, it was a different time back then, so it's easy to say, looking back, how crazy it was because of what we do now and how a lot of us are helicopter parents, but we have that technology,
So
it's
connected now.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
we
you
always
can't
have,
imagine not being connected and
pulling up and
scary.
tracking you. And yeah, I think we're more scared now when somebody's
we don't
phone
know. You
dies.
don't know what you don't know. So it was fun though, us running around and kind of doing that. We'd go getting picked up, covered in, sand and dirt and shit or whatever else we were doing. But we had an adventure. We had stories like we're talking about right now because of
I was
how
gonna
crazy
say,
it was.
it would suck growing up now. Like, we wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff we did when we were kids. Like, all the fun stuff would have been eliminated because we'd have been getting tracked and they'd have been asking, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that?"
But it's still not as scary as Dad blowing up that Home Depot with his butt.
Still smell it in my nose. Ugh, it's burnt into my nostrils.
For a bonus story here, we've got one more story that we're going to close out the chapter on kind of the toilet humor and dad jokes in that whole department. But the time at Home Depot has spurred another memory. And unfortunately, it was Nicholas who was the benefactor of this story as well, with dad, with another bathroom situation. So
Can't make
kind of
this up.
set you up there.
Can't. It's real life.
Tell us about what happened. Yeah.
Lucky me.
There you were.
I don't know if I drew the long stick or the short stick. So yeah, we had a hurricane here in Florida, Central Florida. So it was a busy year for hurricanes that year. Of course, Dad lives in a trailer, so not the best place you want to be during a hurricane. So nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with him. There's just a lot of big oak trees near where he lives, and want him to be safe. So I have a house. It's a little bit more safe, and so it's about a 2,000 square foot house. It's not anything huge, but it's enough for me and my family. And so we have wood laminate floors, and it's a brick stucco house, so it's in decent shape. We try to keep it updated. Anyways, we got enough room, for guests to come over. And so, of course, when the hurricane came, I told Dad and his wife that they were welcome to come over and stay with us to get through it. And they did. But lo and behold, Dad and his stomach issues,
Bowel movements.
blew up the toilet.
You smell an awful lot like flowers.
Hey,
A
can
lot.
I use your shitter?
And he must have used a
So you were gone. You were not there then?
no, I was there. I was there during
Okay.
the hurricane, but
Yep.
he
All right.
used a shit ton of toilet paper and clogged up the toilet once and took care of that, whatever. And so fast forward, I think it was the day they left. Things were kind of getting back to normal, and so the kids play softball, and so I coach, and so I'm gone a lot, and I'm at the house, late nights every night. And I know my oldest was going prom dress shopping with her mom, and so I was already gone. The kids were the other kids were with me, and so they're the only two in the house. My oldest and the wife. And right before they go shopping, my oldest uses the bathroom real quick, and she flushes the toilet and runs out the door. And they go prom dress shopping, and so they're gone for about 3 hours. And
Naturally.
so I get a call towards the end of softball practice, and it's my wife, and she's frantic, and she's like, "Oh my God, you gotta get home! Oh my God, it's everywhere!" And I'm like,
Nicholas.
"What's going on? What's going on? What's up? What's up?" And she's like, "There's water everywhere. The whole house is flooded." And I was like,
I need to get home. That's all I care about right now.
and I'm like, "What?" And so, what are you talking about? And she's like, "When I got home, there was water pouring out the side door from the house."
And
So we
how
have
many
a
square
door
feet
that-
is your house?
Shit.
It's about
It was coming
2,000
out the
square feet.
side door from the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So
my
our
God.
garage, we
And the
enclosed
kids'
it.
bathroom is on the other side of the house.
The kids' bathroom, yep, other side of the house. And so my initial thought, because we enclosed the garage, and so when you go out the hallway, you kind of pass by. Well, you don't see it, but it's in the closet. There's,
Yeah, the
one
water
of those
heater.
big tank water heaters, and I'm thinking the water heater has ruptured and it's just flowing out the side, which is fine because this area out here, it's what do you call it? It's a step down because it used to
Yeah,
be
it'd
a
be
garage, and
minimal
so I'm
damage.
thinking it'll be contained. No, that was not the case. So a perfect storm, or a shit storm, I guess you could call it,
Oh,
was the toilet got clogged again, because of all the toilet paper
fucking
that was
toilets
used
in Florida. What is
from the
going on?
guests.
It's because the water
And
table. It's different.
Oh,
Doesn't take
oh,
much.
oh.
Flows out. Flows out.
It's science. It's science.
the toilet got clogged, which normally wouldn't be a problem. It would just clog and it would fill up and the toilet would stop running. But
You
in
drink it,
this
right?
particular situation, the chain got stuck and it just kept running and it just backflowed all into the house for 3 hours. Just pouring into the house. And so I went back and I looked at the video footage, and so you could see. So we have 2 golden retrievers,
yeah?
and we leave them out, and they're usually pretty chill. And we can see
You can see the water
where the
creeping?
water started making its way out to
Do
the
you still have
kitchen.
clips of this?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and check. But you can see where the dog was where one of the golden retrievers was laying there, and he kind of like glances over, and then he
He's
kind
like,
of
"Oh."
gets up and he starts like doing that back pedal
He
thing.
probably looked at the other dog and was like, "Hey, you fucking shit. Did you do that? Oh, fuck,
What?
I'm out of here."
So he
Ugh.
kind of
it's go
Salty
time.
water.
So he makes his way to the other part of the house, and eventually you see the water, just kind of following him. So yeah, by the time they got home,
Noah's Ark and the animals are gathering.
but every square foot of this house was underwater, and so I went running, rushed over to Lowe's, not Home Depot.
So how many inches of water in your house?
I mean, it depended. So the house apparently isn't level because in one of the rooms it was kind of leaning that way. So it was a little bit deeper in there. But I rushed to Lowe's before they closed and got squeegees and mops and buckets. And so we're just in
Do you
here,
use
like
the
me and me and the wife and kids. We're all just like we're working
where's
away
Dad?
trying to squeeze
home?
this water out. Dad, I'm sure he was at home sleeping by then, because by now it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and we're rolling up the area
They're
rugs
just in
and moving those
crisis
out.
containment mode? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could already see the laminate floor like is starting to like curl and getting soggy, and then it's just in everything, the furniture, everything. So it's like, man, what are we gonna? I've never dealt with something like that, so we wound up having to call a water mitigation. We called the insurance company, who contacted a water mitigation company. They came that next morning, and they just started like ripping everything out. They're ripping the floor
Ripping and
out.
tearing.
Yeah, ripping and tearing, man. It was horrible. Ripping the floor, cutting out the drywall. They're bringing in these giant industrial fans. I mean, like it sounded like you're in an airplane hangar with the aircraft running.
Mm.
I mean, it was just so loud. You shouldn't have been in there without hearing protection.
Yeah,
Trying to dry it all out.
Weird.
Oh my God, it was the worst thing ever. And then we had to go through the whole insurance thing, and they didn't want to pay us enough. And dealing with that, and then having to go through litigation to get just enough to pay for it all.
People don't know about that. Hey, you don't have to take what the insurance is going to give you. There's other ways. I didn't know that.
Adulting is fun. It's
But
hard.
because the insurance
Sounds like
companies are
pooping
designed
is hard.
to screw you and make you fight for it, we wound up having to basically live. I mean, it was like a third world country. Like our house was just torn apart for like 6 to 7
You were a
months.
refugee in your own house.
We just I mean, it was just nothing but concrete with 3 foot up of drywall missing throughout the whole house.
Yeah, all the way to the
all
studs,
of our stuff was in the
insulation,
storage.
everything taken out.
Yeah, I mean everything. All of our stuff was in the storage unit out there. We had to stay in our
So you
camper for a
survived the
little while.
hurricane, but the toilet did
Without
all
the
the
flood.
damage. Yeah, the toilet.
Yeah. And then 6 months later, our insurance company dropped us.
What are the
Oh, that was
chances
a
of
heck
that?
of a coincidence there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the
That's
hurricane
crazy.
business protection, not floods, sir. Well, I'm glad to see you pulled through on the other side, and you're still living
You
there,
are a
right?
survivor, sir.
Made it.
Hey, you still live there right now, don't you?
Still here.
We're
still
still
here.
here. We're still here.
Bonus story. Glad to see Nicholas. I'm reminded of Shawshank, where Andy climbed through that pipe. He went through so many yards of shit and came out clean on the other side. Nicholas has come out clean on the other side of this. He's a survivor. He's made it through. He's good. Okay, so he's able to share that story with us now.
Several
So
bouts with
hopefully,
bowel movements.
you guys haven't had too many fun experiences with that, but because of these things, we get to share them with you guys. But we'd love to hear some of these crazy things that you guys have done. Drop us some feedback, leave us some ideas, reviews, anything. Share. You can find us on Spotify, videos on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and the Reels.
Wherever you get your podcast.
All the things, yeah. So we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep trying to get better each time. So we look forward to hearing your feedback and doing more of these. So we're going to talk about current events. We're going to talk about funny stuff. We're going to talk about nostalgia and all the things we can. But we want to hear from you, and we're going to keep this going. We're going to keep rolling out these episodes and dropping as many as we can. And as long as it's fun and we keep hearing from you guys, we're going to keep doing this. So
yeah, let's do it.
Please chime in and let us know. Well, this was the Welcome Distraction podcast. Hopefully for you, it was a welcome distraction
I was
today.
distracted.
If so, click on the next episode. We're going to keep them coming. Keep yourself entertained. And feel free to check it out on YouTube if you got time to see the video version. Or if you're listening to this on YouTube, then watch or listen to the audio version.
Guess we're out.
Cheers.
Talk to you guys
All right,
later.
guys. That's it for us. So we're going to sign off. I'm Brett.
I'm Christopher.
I'm Nicholas.